Zunday, 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 comic books and nonsense every Zunday. Zunday, 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 starring Zig again and Skipper Steve. Meet Skipper Steve, I'm the captain of the ship. Well, Zig again is mostly around for antics. Why did they name it Funny Books anyway? Because Anticsny Books is a really, really stupid name. And it's really hard to say. Zunday, Zunday, Gubbingy, TGIZ, thank God it's Ziggy. Funny Books Comics on YouTube, not really sponsored by you. Don't you dare miss a single episode of Zunday. Don't you miss an episode. Welcome to Sunday. Or Zunday. Welcome to Zunday.
What did you call it?
I am Skipper Steve, and this is my sidekick.
Did you call it Sunday?
This is Zig again. Maybe.
I might have to leave.
What do you? Looks like you have a little compendemonium over there.
I'm just reading this large yet still easy to read compendium of East of West.
Yes, that East of West compendium is brand
by
new.
Jonathan Hickman and superstar artist Nick Dragata.
Nick Dragata, who you may know from a current hit comic book. Can you name it? You think people are naming it right now?
Yes.
Oh, our syncing of our voices.
Well, yeah, but we still have to introduce our show.
The artist of East of West is Nick Dragota, and he's currently drawing Absolute Batman. So, that's a great compendium.
It is. Here, I'm going to put that right there so people can look at it. Yes, our first segment today, which Steve was just talking about, is an audience participation segment. So if you're here and you're watching right now, make yourself known in the chat, because as you may have noticed right now, and probably not last week because we weren't here last week, but last episode, our voices are out of sync with the sound, with our mouths.
Yes, they are.
You don't have to fake it. It's really doing
it's really happening.
Yes. And so we can fix that, but we need your help. We need you to tell us, like, hey, the sound is a half second after what your lips are saying, and then I'll make an adjustment. And then after the adjustment, you could be like, it's still a little bit after, or now it's a little bit before. And then, so if any of you are here, we have no takers in the chat yet.
Okay.
So until we do, we'll just have to deal with it.
Yes. And TGIZ, because I don't know how to do any of this, and Ziggy is the man.
I only sort of do. Let's see.
In the meantime, I could start the show.
Yes.
So today is Zunday, March 16th.
Yes, there we go. Sync offset.
It is the day before St. Patrick's Day, thus my green shirt.
And for me, it's always Halloween.
I can't believe the date on this shirt. 3/18/98.
98. Oh, that shirt's from the late 1900s.
Oh my God! Can you believe this? I was like, I guess this was a very famous indoor lacrosse tournament that the Lambasters participated in.
Yeah.
And the Lambasters is becoming something of the past, big time. We were very active in the 90s and the early 2000s. But this tournament, I just thought of this. We were pretty notorious lacrosse team.
Notorious.
Not that people hated us, but
they hated
us because we were having more fun than them, basically.
That'll do it. Yeah.
And we were good, even though.
There's our buddy Rob.
Rob?
That's who we were waiting on. I think
my favorite
the video is a half second behind the audio. That's what we want. I don't know if you were here yet when I said we're having our audience participation segment where we need somebody to help us sync the audio. So you're saying we're about a half second. The video is a half second behind the audio, so I'm going to make a change. And then you can tell us if it's better. So it would be... if the video is a half second behind the audio, then the audio needs to... Let's try this. Tell me if this is worse or better.
Talk. Hello.
Hello. We'll talk about the Lambasters.
Oh, yeah, the Lambasters. So this very famous tournament, which we played in an indoor tennis facility in Sparta.
They can't tell the sinking if you're not looking at the camera.
An indoor tennis facility in Sparta. It was like a round robin. It was indoor, a bunch of teams. A lot went on that day. But most famously, at the end of this tournament, the guy running it, who we were friends with, he was always on other teams. He had a cake, I guess, in celebration of the tournament at the end.
Yeah.
After everyone was having beers, they had a keg,
Right.
And he was doing a presentation, and I walked up there, and this is a long time ago, probably before this joke was made aware of by everybody.
Right.
But I bent down and I sniffed the cake, and I go, I think this cake's been out in the sun too long. It smells funny. And then he proceeded to stick his head down, and I stuffed his head in the cake. And he came up.
It flipped the other way, like the beginning of the... Okay, so now...
Got to go the other way.
So now, and less. So let's go... if it flipped the other way, then let's try 250.
So this guy, his name was Mike, I remember. He, after I stuck his head in the cake, he came up swinging, and he punched me so hard in the chest. He knocked me back like 5 feet. And then it's just, we tell the story all the time. And then when we left, I hate to say this, but we stole the keg when we left.
Oh, I mean,
we brought it with us.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So, but those are back in my rambunctious Lambaster days, and
Yeah.
we were the notorious Lambasters, so we wanted to leave a mark, and we did.
Are you telling me or you telling them?
We did leave a mark. So it is March 6th.
Better, all right. So better as in better or better as in good? Like...
Perfect?
You'll let us know. Is it perfect? Because, we are inherently perfect.
Oh,
so our
God.
audio...
So not perfect.
In sync. Good.
All right.
We got Kieran here as well.
Awesome.
Giving us the insight.
So it is March 16th, and I want to do a ZUNDAY today because it falls in between all these holidays.
Yes.
Which are St. Patrick's Day tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
Pi Day 2 days ago, and Ides of March yesterday.
And in 2 days is St. Sip's Day.
Is that Sip's birthday?
It's Sip's birthday.
Very, very famous back in the day Funny Books customer.
Mm-hmm.
Sip. Happy birthday, Sip. Maybe we'll have a sip of Yoo-Hoo for him.
Ooh.
See what I did? I think we should just end the show right now.
Right now. The audio's in sync. We had a good pun.
Yeah.
What are we sticking around
that's
for?
it, yeah. So I did want to talk about first of all the Ides of March. Do you know what that is? You know why? What it represents? The Ides of March?
It's the you beware it
Because
you're gonna get killed.
why? What is the historic?
It's Caesar.
Caesar got killed
Yeah.
on March 15th, and do you know when that was? Take a guess.
On March 15th.
What year?
7.
It was 44 BC. 44 BC. So basically, I guess, I'm not sure how this works. Yeah, I guess, he died before Christ was born, but not very long before that, so it's really wild. It's just wild that they changed it from BC to AD, like they stopped numbering it, or I don't know how that worked. Were they numbering it backwards
No.
to get to 0?
No.
I'm not sure. I don't know how anything works.
It coincides, though, I think, in reality, not exactly, but it coincides with the birth of Jesus.
Is it the birth? It's the birth or the death?
The birth.
The birth. Okay. Yeah. So 44 BC, and then Pi Day. Pi Day was 2 days ago.
I don't recognize Pi Day.
You don't. Do you
No.
know? Can you do any pi? Can you do any digits?
3.14. Either 159 or just 59 is next.
You're 159.
159. Yeah. That's all I know.
Yeah. Pi. I will do a little bit of it for you.
I just can't participate in Pi talk in regards to Pi Day because I'm vehemently against the idea of Pi Day.
Really?
Yes.
Why? You don't like pie?
No, I don't like people. It's funny because today is what day is it today?
The 16th.
Yeah, today is Stone Cold Steve Austin Day because it's
Oh,
316.
right. Damn, I forgot.
But I don't subscribe to holidays that are just a coincidence of a number sort of sounding like a completely unrelated thing.
You got to get a T-shirt that says that.
I go through this. I go through this every year on Pi Day.
Yeah.
I go through this every year
on Star Wars
stupid
Day.
May the 4th.
Yep.
I go through this every year on. We just passed Mario Day because March 10th, MAR, and then the 10. It looks like the word Mario.
Oh.
So stupid. That's not how holidays work.
Look, we need more holidays. It's fun. It's fun.
I hate it.
Pi Day's fun.
Hate it.
We should, every year, I forgot about Austin. So it should be Pi Day, Ides of March, Austin, St. Patrick's Day, 4-day holiday right there.
And then Sips Day.
And Sips Day. Yeah,
It's
a 5-day holiday of variety, which is kind of cool. I like it. So Pi, Pi is the, first of all, it's from way back to Egypt. Pi goes, maybe even further, maybe to the previous civilization that occupied our Earth before humans. The verdict. What?
Karen is 100% correct. He just said, I'll show you this. He goes, is it me or does Steve's hand look huge? Look at your hand.
It is huge. You know what they say.
But it looks disproportionately huge.
It's big as my head.
It's from the, I get like,
it's like a fisheye.
It's like I'm sort of doing a fisheye thing.
Yeah.
But oh my God, I read that and then I saw it in the monitor and it did. It looked really.
Put my head down here.
Really. What, it's not big enough?
I know, right? In fact, the vertical height of the pyramids have the same relationship with the perimeter of their base as the relationship between a circle's radius and its circumference, which is what pi is. Pi is the quantity which, when the diameter is multiplied by it, yields the circumference of a circle.
Pi r squared.
Not surprisingly, so Sir Isaac Newton began using the symbol for pi in 1706. So that's about our date today. It's Austin 316. Yes, which is great. I didn't think of that about that. And they went into the whole origin that on the Vince McMahon, the Netflix documentary. They went into
the origin of pi
of Austin 316. How he just kind of ad-libbed it and it became a thing the next day.
Yeah.
Okay, so last Sunday we skipped. It was just a last minute. I've just been overwhelmed with funny book stuff and work and other personal things going on that I was not ready to do a Zunday last week. I didn't prepare a Zunday, and then Ziggy was like, we could just sit down and see what develops. We don't need a script. And he's right. We're in a comic book store. We could just grab stuff and talk about it.
I mean, listen, Steve walks in on a Sunday, on any given Sunday, which is the name of a movie.
Yes.
And
any given Sunday. We should do our own movie.
And, he comes in because, like, he forgot his keys or something, or his sunglasses, and he just has to grab them and leave. But he'll end up here for like an hour and a half.
Yes.
As we talk about nothing.
And get customers.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get customers. Sometimes we're just...
we're doing Zunday, but
we're doing Zunday for nobody.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we don't need a script. We don't need a show sheet.
Yeah,
we just sit down and go.
Our normal conversations are very Zunday anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Because Zunday is
That's why Zunday started with an idea to like go over what's in the store.
Yes.
What's going to be on Last Call.
Yes.
On next Wednesday. And then we were like, but we could also have fun, interject a little nonsense in there. And it basically, the whole show became the nonsense because that's...
It's more palatable to a wider audience than like the fact that Absolute Flash comes out this Wednesday. And
Well, I think it's just more that it's naturally where our conversations go.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we are a comic book store, a lot of the conversations at Funny Books are notoriously either about maybe our customers, what they're up to. I like to ask questions and see what everyone's doing, and other adjacent things. For instance, I have a whole list.
And I ask them trivia questions, and if they can't answer it, they're not allowed to buy anything.
But going forward, Ziggy and I have discussed doing Zunday on Sunday night instead of Sunday morning. Because do you have a Coach Conti slide there? Can we just do them in any order?
I can do whatever I want.
Maybe you should put it.
The world
Maybe you should put it here so I
is
can
my
see it.
oyster.
Can I? Can you
It's
put that?
our
here?
oyster.
It's our oyster.
Which I looked up.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe we can.
We'll discuss that.
We can discuss
when we do. Oh yeah. So we'll discuss that when we talk about Funny Books Night Out, which we had last night. So yeah, Coach Conti is back.
Are you the only coach this year?
Well, I am the head JV coach.
Okay.
I'm also technically the assistant coach. So there's a varsity coach and there's me, the assistant coach. We have another coach, Coach Tom, who handles a lot of the.
Is there a Coach Jerry? And
no.
Coach Tom chases him around?
Coach Tom is the conditioning coach. Basically, he's kind of a football type guy. I am the JV coach. I'm responsible for coaching up the younger kids that don't know exactly what they're doing, which is a perfect position for me. And then coach.
Closer look. At you.
Nice. Yeah, look at us. Look at me outside of Funny Books, being a coach and being in charge of that army of young men.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. And then we have a brand new coach this year, Coach Liam, and he's doing a good job. We had our first week of practice this week. And this kind of changes things around Funny Books because I'm coaching 6 days a week. Yeah, 6 days a week. Every weekday from 4:30 to 6:30, I have to basically get out of here at around 3:30 to get ready to go and get over there. And then sometimes on Wednesdays and Fridays, I will come back for that last hour and close.
Yeah.
I have KTK doing Wednesdays. Kevin the Kid. I have him doing Wednesdays and Fridays when I leave. And I have Kid Kirby doing Thursdays when I leave. We're only open till 6 then, so he only has to be here a couple hours alone. He's relatively new to the store, so that's good for him. And then the biggest difference is Kevin and I used to open on New Comic Day together. And it is really a two-man job. There's a lot happening when you open the store on New Comic Day. Everyone's coming in. There's orders to fill that are coming in at the last second while people are shopping, and you want to get to these orders before people buy stuff other people ordered.
Yeah.
There's obviously the customer service, and so now I'm doing that alone on Wednesday mornings. It's chaos. It's hard, but it's all right.
Chaos books.
Nothing I'm not used to because I used to do this anyway by myself. So I am back coaching, and the good part is sometimes I'll have to miss Free Comic Book Day because there's a game. And this year the game on May 3rd, which is Free Comic Book Day, is at night. So that might impact us going out afterwards like we always do on Free Comic Book Day, to get dinner or something. But that door's not locked.
We get dinner on Free Comic Book Day? Oh, Free Comic Book Day.
Free Comic Book Day.
I was still thinking New Comic
No,
Book Day.
Free Comic Book Day. So this will impact maybe our night that day.
Because they can't figure out what to do with themselves.
Yes. Hello, how are you? We open at noon. We're filming our YouTube show right now.
Thank you.
All right, guys? Thanks for stopping by. We'll be open at noon. He's a regular, and his kid is a big action figure Kingdom fan. Why don't we switch right to that slide? Can we do that? Ooh, look at that beauty, huh? What do you think of that cover?
Yeah.
Ziggy's mad because he doesn't... Well, you don't want to color my covers anymore. You're too busy.
I am too busy.
Yeah. So...
I wouldn't mind the new covers being colored. It's just being erased from existence on the old covers. Terrible.
I know,
terrible.
It's horrible. And you did it.
Also, there's stuff going on here that you wouldn't let me do.
Like what?
All those colors in the sky. Every time I tried to make the sky
multiple colors,
have a gradient, you'd be like, no, there's got to be the red issue,
right,
and the blue issue, and this issue.
Yes, that was the concept for the original 1 through 4. Blue issue, if you look at them, blue issue, there's like an aquamarine issue, a pink issue, and a red issue, and it goes with what I was trying to do as far as like a concept of coloring concept for it. Then 5 and 6 are purple, Zombie Kingdom.
Yeah.
And then we started to randomize it a little bit. In fact, when you get into...
I did get to do a real sky on the one with the kid.
The kid, yes. But so I told Leia this time around we want to start mixing the colors now that we're moving forward. We need new palettes. She did a great job on this. It's not necessarily a final. I'm not sure about the colors on the logo and everything, but this issue's almost done. I am now cleaning scans. Everything's drawn. I'm cleaning scans, and I've already cleaned 11 of the 20 scans. I'm hoping to get through some today. Once that's all done, I have to place them into the lettering. I have to finish the lettering. I mean, there's quite a few stages left, but I'm happy with the way it's coming out. I love the cover, and I've already drawn the next cover. The next cover is super cool. So this issue will bring back, obviously, Kingfire, whose name will eventually be Kingfire. You know, it's Fire King right now, but it's going to be Kingfire when I do the books. Freeze Queen's back. Rock Jack is back.
She should be Queen Freeze.
No.
and Jack Rock.
Change the other ones back? No, because it's the monarch name, then the power.
Right.
Freeze, Queen, Rock, Jack, King, Fire.
You don't hear yourself swapping it?
Wait. King, Fire. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's why I changed it originally, because he didn't match.
Right, but he did match, and then you changed him to not match. And then...
Right, because I like the name Kingfire better than Fire King. Fire King sounds too generic, like Fire Lord. You know, there's already a Fire Lord. Kingfire is just a cool name.
Right, but then she has to be Queen Freeze.
No, that sounds like Creme Fraiche.
I don't know what that is.
Creme Fraiche?
Yeah.
Famous South Park episode? It's like some kind of dollop you add to food or something. I don't know.
Like Cool Whip?
I'm not too sure what Creme Fraiche is, but I can't name her that. And Jack Rock?
Jack Rock.
Sounds like Jackpot. I don't like Jack Rock. Rock Jack is such a cool name.
Right, but you know.
Yeah. Anyway, all these characters are coming back, and
what about instead of Kingfire, Fingfire?
That's not bad. I like that.
Fingfire.
I like nonsense. But look what a great job. Oh, and also the classics are back. So I officially have named those guys the classics.
The classics.
It's the dad's action figures of Acrobat and Sparkling for those following Action Figure Kingdom. You know the deal. And if you saw that cover, don't show it again, but there were only 3...
I'll show it again. You can't stop me.
There was only 3 Acronators up there. The Acronators are my teen team that I introduced in 11 through 13. Rock Jack, Sparkinetta, and Acro Boy.
Acrobat Jr.?
Kid Acrobat Jr.
Kid Acrobat.
Which I used.
Kid Acrobat Jr.
I used that joke in this issue. But one of them's missing, and there's a reason that Rapido, my speedster from Mexico City, is not on this cover. And you will find out in Action Figure Kingdom 17, which should be available, I'd say, within a month, safely. That kid that was just there, he's been asking me for it. The other day, a kid dropped to the floor because I didn't have it ready. He was like, "Ah!" I felt terrible. I was like, "You think that's a long wait? Wait till the next issue. I don't even know how I'm drawing it." So, Coach Conti returns, Action Figure Kingdom. Let's talk about Funny Books Night Out.
Funny Books Night Out.
So last night we had our holiday party because we never had
a little
time.
Late.
Listen, it's hairy around here. There's a lot going on,
especially around the holidays, from the lead up to Christmas, and everything on that, and then right into New Year's Eve.
Right. Yeah. It was hectic. So Anna was back from Rutgers on her college spring break. I saw a bunch of kids back on spring break, which is good. So since Anna was back, we decided let's now get together for our holiday party. It was put together very quickly, but we had a very good turnout. Myself, Ziggigan,
that's me,
KTK,
Kevin the Kid,
Jade, right? Mm-hmm. Anna, of course, Kid Kirby, and John showed up. So Val, Jordan couldn't make it, but we had a great time. We went to a Mexican place that used to be the TGI Fridays up in Parsippany.
Yes,
it's called Milagros. And I'll just say that it was way fancier than I thought it was going to be when we got there. It was very bougie.
It was like, it wasn't this fancy when it was TGI Fridays.
Yeah, exactly. There were people very well dressed in there, and Ziggy was wearing his Green Goblin t-shirt.
And Steve was wearing his Punisher hockey
Football jersey.
Football jersey.
Yeah. I did not expect that. I did have an inkling to turn around and leave as soon as we walked in. Like, I was like, this.
I was just like, nah.
This doesn't look like,
Let's just do it.
And we did it, and we did have a great time. The place was great. We got a great table.
Doesn't that look schmancy?
Oh, yeah, look, there we are. Okay, so from the left, it's Kid Kirby, Jade, John, Anna, Kevin the Kid, Ziggy, and myself. And we got a nice round table. We had margaritas.
Yeah.
Not everybody. Obviously, Kid Kirby drank most of them, I think. And
couldn't keep him out of his hand.
Yeah, but it was nice to see Jade, and John, who came in from Brooklyn for this, and Anna back from college. She's always a pleasure. And Anna will be at New Comic Day this week. She's back. She's going to help me open this
nice.
week. Yeah. And of course, I see way too much of KTK and you, so that wasn't really a highlight for me.
Me and who?
Kevin the Kid.
Oh, Kevin the Kid.
He hates KTK. It's the easiest thing to say, and it rhymes with say. KTK. That's a little haiku for you.
Did you count the syllables?
No, it's not a haiku. It sounded like one. And Kid Kirby.
Kid Kirby.
He's been very good too. So yeah, we went there. We had a great time, and then afterwards, we went bowling at Boonton Lanes.
That's right.
Where we upheld our reputation of being absolutely horrible bowlers.
I was okay.
I was decent. I'm the only one who bowled both games over 100.
Right, but I had the high game of the night.
You did.
And I was on track for a perfect 300 before you made me stop.
Yes, and we weren't doing a third game, but Ziggy started and he bowled 2 strikes in a row. I said we're not playing a third game. But it's such a great time. I love this crew. I have really good people here. It's just everyone has a good time. And then we went back to my place and hung out for a little while, which was played with Dottie, the cat. By the way, Dottie's not here today. Dottie doesn't show much interest in getting in the cat carrier anymore, and I don't want to force her into it.
Oh, did she used to happily go in?
Yeah, she used to voluntarily jump in there. But you change as a cat as you get older. In fact, my friend was over this week with his dog.
Yeah. And
when Dottie was a little kitten, Dottie ran right up to this dog and was like playing with the dog. Now this dog came over. Dottie was a beast. She was hissing, swiping. She was very nasty. And I think it's because maybe it's a territorial thing. Yeah. But I felt bad. I liked, but eventually, I was talking to my friend Mike, and we kind of left them alone in their standoff, and they were slightly warming up to each other, but not a lot.
Many years ago, when I was in Ramsey, my boss asked me to watch his cat while he went on vacation for a week, so he brought the cat over, and I was in the apartment with Lem.
Probably want to speak up a little bit.
And then I went to...
Don't do that. One person's watching at least, too.
We've had a total of 5 viewers today.
Oh! Hot damn.
So far.
Nice.
Yeah. So, And look, I'm in the yellow. I'm yellow into red, and that's what you want.
Okay.
You want yellow.
Okay.
When you get into the reds, that's when it's close to popping.
Okay.
You don't want to overmodulate.
I don't know anything.
Yeah. You want to be in the yellow. That means it's good volume.
Okay.
Oh, but then
I'm down.
Sometimes you have to whisper a little bit. So anyway, he brought the cat over, and stayed with us. The cat stayed with us for a week, and Lem was like on one side of the living room.
Oh, the Lem days, yeah.
And the cat, my boss's cat, was on the other side of the living room. And for like a week, they just gave each other a death stare from across the apartment for a week straight.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've considered getting another cat for Dottie because I'm away a lot. I mean, yesterday I was on the lacrosse field at 8 to 10. I worked from 10 to 6, and then we went out until like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I was gone all day. Poor Dottie's over there by herself. I mean, I'll pop in and check on her and stuff like that. But I don't know how she would treat another cat right now, invading the space, even though she's alone all day. She might not dig it.
What you do when you introduce a new cat, you put the new cat in another room with the door closed.
Yeah.
For a few days, and let them sniff at each other from under the door.
Yeah.
And get used to each other a little bit, and then you can open the door and let them integrate, and then they're used to each other's scent.
Yeah, that's not a bad
they
idea.
Integrate a little better.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not loaded, and
or you just throw the other cat in there and be like, get used to it.
Get used to it. Yeah. I mean, Dottie's already cost me quite a penny. I don't have kids, but I don't have a lot of money either. And I don't.
What are you talking about?
I don't know if I can.
Look at all these kids you have.
I know those are my kids, and I'm very happy with those kids. And so getting another cat, it could be a little financially strapping for me. And then, okay, so maybe a little Yoo-hoo toast, and we'll go into some funny books business.
Okay.
All right. Do you have a picture of my buddy Eddie?
Bet I do.
Okay. This is going to be a sad...
Eddie and some other guy.
This is going to be a sad one. So those who follow me on Facebook personally, my personal Facebook page, know about my friend Eddie. He passed away last week, 64. He had lung cancer.
Ugh.
Let's see. Well, Eddie and I worked together back at AT&T before Funny Books. I remember when AT&T. So AT&T had corporate art departments within the buildings, so that if someone needed artwork done, they didn't have to go outside and pay an art agency. They had a budget that they can use within AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in one of those corporate art departments, and I was in the Parsippany building over by the old Tower Hotel. And they started to consolidate everything down to Parsippany, and Eddie, I think he was either in Bedminster, Bernardsville, however you say it, or Bridgewater. I remember there were 3 B towns that had AT&T things. And anyway, Eddie was headed our way, and people that knew Eddie, that had worked with Eddie previously, said, you and Eddie are not going to get along. And I was like, why? And they were like, because Eddie's super funny, and you're super funny, and you can only have one funny guy. And about a week after Eddie showed up, him and I were doing a fake radio show at his desk together. We got along so great. After I left AT&T, and both of us worked for AT&T and the Daily Record. I left AT&T to go to the Daily Record. He stayed, and he always says I should have stayed at AT&T because I was way ahead of him as far as computer stuff goes.
Yeah.
And then after I left, he learned it, and he did very well at AT&T. But we stayed friends. He came to my wedding to Amanda way back in the 90s. I went to his wedding, and we remained friends this entire time. That's us. He was my breakfast buddy. We would go to the diner quite often. Here's to...
Turn around.
Oh, yeah. So here's an initial toast to Eddie. Rest in peace. Thanks for being such a good friend. And for those of you who did go to Funnyrama, Eddie was the guy who would always stand to the left of the stage during my monologue and be funnier than I was, which isn't that difficult.
We also have this picture of his statue.
Yes. So Eddie was an incredibly talented sculptor, and he really, I remember, because he was a great painter also, and but I remember when he decided just to sculpt, because he was extolling the virtues of 3-dimensional art over 2-dimensional art. Basically, its permanence, and it's it adds another quality to artwork, 3 dimensions. But so Eddie would stand to the left of the stage during Funnyrama and just chime in funny comments. 2 Funnyramas, the last, not this Funnyrama, but the one before, I was doing a Superwoman joke and alluding to my mother as Superwoman. That was kind of like the payoff. And my mother wasn't around. I had seen her previously,
right?
But she wasn't there. And I go, "Where's my mom?" And Eddie goes, "She's outside smoking a cigarette." And which, of course, my mom's an older woman who doesn't smoke cigarettes. And then I did a similar joke with my dad, and I was like, "Where's my dad?" And then he's like, "He's vaping." So he's the quickest wit I ever met. And he also called Action Figure Kingdom Action Finger Kingdom for some reason all the time. He never got it right. But I did create a.
It's like Ralph.
Oh yeah, it's like our old customer Ralph who called everything wrong. Dangerous Girl.
Dangerous Girl.
Instead of Danger Girl.
Cave Lady.
Cave Lady instead of Cave Woman. Yeah. So, Eddie, actually he gave me the idea to do Action Finger Kingdom because Action Figure Kingdom is based on a kid playing with his action figures.
Yeah.
So I was thinking I could have a poor child who doesn't have action figures, so he just draws faces on his fingers, and he does Action Finger Kingdom. I was thinking about doing like as a little one-page backup in the back of Action Figure Kingdom, like a funny editorial piece. So anyway, Eddie, you're going to be missed big time. Valerie was also very good friends with Eddie. Eddie was teaching her some sculpting.
That's cool.
Erin was very good friends with Eddie. We went to service, the three of us, and it's a sad day. Super talented, funny man, Eddie Burdett. Thanks for being a good friend.
That gets us through all our photos. We've done everything.
Yes, because now we're going to talk about Funny Books itself. As you can see, we got an absolute flash poster back here. One thing we forget to do on Sunday is to direct people to the store to,
I say it's not that we forget, it's that we run out of time because of all of our many
Funny Books adjacent stuff.
Things that we say and do and talk and do and say.
Yes, and talk and do and say.
And say.
But
and do.
Now is the time. We, listen, people ask me how things are going here. It's tough right now. It's very tough. We just came out of a miserably cold winter. We had a horrible election that's got everyone demoralized. Most people, I think. It's comic books are expensive. Diamond's going bankrupt. It's tricky.
It's crazy.
It's tricky. Everything's expensive. Not just comic books, but in everyone's lives, everything's expensive, which leaves less disposable income. So
cheaper than a dozen eggs, though.
It is, and I'm not begging. I'm not begging for anyone to shop here, or I don't want to. I'm not a sob story, but I do know that there's a lot of people that do reserve comics here.
Mm-hmm.
That we have giant folders all the time filled with comics. And Ziggy's working on that today. There's a feature in Comic Hub where you can send a mass email out to people that are delinquent in picking up their folder. We've had New Year's Steve, we've had Love Bucks, we have Merch Madness to try to give people an incentive to come here. I've added a lot of product. In fact, I just made yesterday a fantastic facsimiles. Fascinating facsimiles.
Ooh, fascinating.
Yeah, because it's got the FACS. Yeah, fascinating facsimiles.
Fascinating facsimiles.
Yes, I brought back the Magnificent Milestones box. We are extremely well stocked. We're getting great product like this Killer Be Killed compendium. Zig.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. We're just trying to drum up some good business. Now, Absolute Flash is on is on next Wednesday. You can hop on Comic Hub, go to funnyrama.com and click on the customer portal. And now on the customer portal, you can not only reserve stuff coming up, but you can also purchase stuff that we have in the store.
You can.
Because we upgraded Comic Hub. So actually Absolute Flash #1 and Absolute Batman, I think it's #5, are both on next Wednesday.
Yeah.
While you're there, you can just search things like Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Martian Manhunter,
yeah.
and pick your covers out. Absolute Martian Manhunter looks bizarre. You see
it
those
does.
covers?
Yeah.
One's like by Picasso, I think. I'm not too sure. Is he still alive?
No. I think he died in the 70s.
It might be his nephew or something. It looks just like a Picasso cover.
Johnny Picasso?
Johnny Picasso. Oh, I like that name. I might use that name as my pen name.
Hey, Johnny
Picasso.
Picasso.
Hey, I like that. So, and also, We are also doing a lot with comic book supplies.
Oh!
Check out this treasury-sized bagged and boarded.
We're going to change the name of the store to Action Comic Book Supply Kingdom.
Yes, we are. I am what Walter White was to methamphetamine. I am to comic book supplies.
And methamphetamine.
And methane. I have a giant stack of comic book supplies. And we have treasury-sized bags and boards. These are super cool. We have magazine bags and boards, Golden Age bags and boards, Silver Age bags and boards, and new comic bags and boards.
All of which are resealable.
No, the Golden Ages aren't for some reason.
Oh, nice.
I might have ordered the wrong ones, or they don't make them. I'm not sure. But if they make resealable treasuries and magazines, I would think that they make resealable Golden Age, and I just ordered the wrong ones. Speaking of which,
tape is better anyway.
You think you have everything covered. Now, I love the resealables for a couple reasons. First of all, they changed the resealables to where this is the resealable part right here. Believe it or not, when they first made resealables, the resealable part was here.
Yeah.
It's so stupid because as soon as you pull the comic out, it
would
stick to
it. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that have an aversion to resealables don't know that they changed it.
That's not my aversion to reseal. You know my problem.
I know your problem. So Ziggy's problem is that this thing that you peel off is very staticky, and it will stick to him.
And it'll just end up like on your face. You'll just be like,
or all over the floor,
all over the place. You can't get it off your finger.
But think about this: if you
just creating garbage.
If you did tape this though, and you pulled it out, you again have the potential to get tape on your comic.
Yeah, but you know what I always did?
Fold it over.
I tape it to the front. You fold it back and you use the tape to hold it on the front.
So your tape would be here.
No. I would have the tape.
Yeah.
I would have the tape, as you expect.
Yeah.
And then when I opened it up and the tape was sticking on here,
yeah,
I would fold this here towards the front and use the tape to stick it to the front. And now it just stays down here.
Okay, why
That's
can't
what I would do.
Why can't you just put the tape here, and then when you peel it this way?
Because you can't peel. You don't want to peel the tape. It's weird.
Yeah, I guess.
And then the tape will just stick to the back, and then it's flat, and then you never get it again.
So
that's crazy.
It's so funny because
absolute crazy.
Because I love the resealables. The other thing is it seals it all the way across. Where the tape, if you don't get it right to the edge, you can get a little flap sticking up. So one of the things, if you guys shop here, you know we used to tape on the bottom because when people pull back issues up and in and out of the boxes,
you would get those flaps.
You get the flaps sticking up. So I like to tape on the bottom. The problem with that is if there is any kind of rain at all or water, it can get in.
Yeah.
And
you need the flap on the top for protection purposes.
Yes, for protection purposes. So these have solved that problem. We now tape on the top too because these seal all the way across. It's
Kieran talking because we were mentioning the methamphetamine.
Yeah.
And he goes talking about speed while holding the Flash versus Superman race.
Oh, is methamphetamine speed?
I guess
they call it speed. He knows more about drugs than I do.
Yeah. Kieran's our go-to guy when we have a question about drugs.
Yes. Has he chimed in before about drugs?
I don't know. We're just deciding this now.
Yes. So it's funny though because one of my customers came in and I was like, I'm the king of supplies. I have all the supplies. And he's like, oh great, I need these, and he goes to pick them up and he goes, oh, these are the resealables. I don't buy those. And I was like, I finally have every supply. And there are people apparently that don't want resealables. But listen, I can't carry both. There's not enough room in the store for.
Did you say to him, you can just use tape? You don't have to pull the thing.
I did. I said, actually, Ziggy uses tape. But he has a very specific, this is, I don't want to give him away, but I'll say Justin J. Long last name.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He says he uses literally like a sliver of tape.
Yeah.
Like an eighth of an inch of tape and puts it like right here. That's how particular he is about it. And I got to remember, this is a collecting thing.
Yeah.
People are particular.
This is another thing I don't like about resealables. Look at how you didn't get it even.
Well, I was just doing it on the fly.
No, that happens all the time, though. It happens all the time. You have to, start in the middle and go out and make sure you don't get any bubbles. It's such a pain in the... Use tape. I'm with Justin J. Use tape.
Well, I happen to be Sort of like how Elon Musk is doing everything in the government. I'm undoing all your taped jobs and doing resealables.
That's fine, as long as I don't have to be the one. I don't care. But
oh, look at this big news. So, Love Bucks, first of all, March 30th, you can start using your Love Bucks.
March 30th.
It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday.
It's a ZUNDAY.
2 Sundays from today. But please don't wait.
2 Sundays from ZUNDAY.
From ZUNDAY. Please don't wait until then to come here and buy stuff using your Love Bucks. Like, continue to purchase things with regular money and credit cards and stuff. And then...
World Bucks.
And then...
non-love buck. Use life bucks.
Use money.
Money bucks.
use whatever. And then when Love Bucks become due, start using them on new product. And a lot of people like to use Love Bucks on their new comics because we don't discount new comics, or on comic book supplies, which we also don't discount.
The fun thing about comic books is there's always new comic books. So even if you buy comic books before Love Bucks with regular boring money, there will be more comic books for you to use the Love Bucks on later.
Yeah, there's always new comics.
Yeah.
I always tell
You're not going to be like, oh no,
yes,
I've got all these Love Bucks and no comics to spend them on.
Yes.
There's always more comics.
And supplies.
And supplies.
And whatever else. By the way, at that point, Funny Fever will be on. Funny Fever is going to start very soon. We are getting to the end of winter.
But you can't Funny Fever with Love Bucks.
No. You can't use Funny Fever with Love Bucks.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Double discounting. So, spring is just about to start. I think it is Thursday or Friday, March 20th or 21st. I'm not sure. So, I have a big announcement regarding...
Oh, by the way, there's going to be no... The day that Love Bucks starts, there's going to be no ZUNDAY.
March 30th.
Yes. Because I will be in Las Vegas.
Good for you, Ziggy. And I guess either KT, probably I'll be working. I'll work that Sunday. So I have an announcement to make regarding New Year's Eve, the other promotion that we started.
Yes.
So New Year's Eve, the promotion is you have until the end of winter to...
Which is?
I think it's Thursday, the March 20th, to come in for the follow-up volumes of your New Year's Eve resolution at a discount, 15% off. I've decided to extend New Year's Eve through Sideways segment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love the sideways
Did
segment.
it just happen?
Yeah, it just happened.
Okay.
It just happened. I saw it in the corner of my eye. It just happened, and I was like, ah!
Sideways segment. You know, when we got the new computer, if I had thought of it, I would have bought a webcam that day since we were at Best Buy. I didn't think of it. I
don't know. At least we still get the
sideways segment.
Oh,
so
God.
I am extending the Love Bucks discount. I mean the New Year's Eve discount. 10 ADP.
10 ADP.
Yep. Yes. ADP.
ADP.
Yep, our new payroll service.
Ever since we set it up on the new one, it defaults to it. It's good.
Okay, good.
We don't have to change it.
So you will now have, get this, Iggy, until summer to get your New Year's Eve follow-up
What?
discount.
That's even more than like the Groundhog Day.
I'm adding another whole season to New Year's Eve, giving people the opportunity
New Year's
follow...
Spring. New Spring Steve.
So yeah, why not? Why not? People made these resolutions. They took part in our promotion. Winter flew by. I can't believe it's going to be spring. I haven't seen a lot of follow-up, so I want to give people another opportunity and another reason to come here is to get the follow-up volumes. And, you know, like that guy, like Matt, Matt_reads_comics. He came in from Asbury Park to get his New Year's Eve stuff. So I don't expect him to come up every month from Asbury Park, but maybe he'll make it before summer to get his follow-up discount.
We should let him know.
I will. Well, maybe he watches. So New Year's Eve is extended. Love Bucks come due March 30th. You can also stop by Funny Books.
Wow, extended New Year's Eve. That's crazy. This place is crazy.
Hey, I want to give deals.
You never know what's going to happen here.
In this economy, you have to offer
What,
deals.
in this economy?
You have to offer deals. By the way, I did buy a specials board, which
Yeah.
is like one of those big restaurant specials board with the neon markers. We're going to have weekly and daily specials.
Do you know how many people are out there right now going, man, I can't believe I didn't get a New Year's Eve. Now that it's been extended, I
Yeah.
totally wasted
Yeah.
my entire year.
God willing, there'll be another one next year. You know? Or maybe during a Destroy All Sales, we'll have a New Year's Eve.
Ooh.
I don't know if we've ever had a New Year's Eve during Destroy All Sales before. We haven't done a Destroy All Sales since last summer. We didn't do a winter one. We normally do a winter one.
Do we?
Yeah. We usually do it around Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. We do a 3-day, and we didn't do it this year.
I think that we just destroyed the sales so heavily in the last Destroy All Sales that the sales are not recovered enough to do another.
Yes,
Destroy.
listen. There's a lot of sales going on, and sometimes it's overkill. You know, sometimes you get choice paralysis when you have all those sales at the same time. You're like, I had a kid the other day in here with his family for the first time, and he liked Adventure Time. He was about, I want to say he was like in 7th grade, maybe 6th grade, and so I was showing him, we have these Adventure Time graphic novels. They're little ones. And I was like, oh, look, here's our Adventure Time graphic novels. And he grabbed them all, and he goes up to the counter, and he's like, to his mother, his parents, he's like, I want to get these. And they're like, you can get one. And he couldn't decide, so he put them all back. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like when you have too many choices, you might get, like, paralyzed on your decision.
That happened to me on my cruise. There was like 3 different events going on at once, plus the regular cruise things.
Yeah.
And one of these nights I was just like, I just stood in like a hallway looking both ways, not being able to decide which thing I wanted to do until and then finally there was like 10 minutes left.
Right.
And everything. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I missed that.
Right. And you're going to go again. Did John say he's going to go on that cruise?
He might. I think he said his girlfriend might be working it in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, nice. And
I told him he had to become the plus.
I want to get back to that in a second, but you can also stop by for the green voucher for free comic book day. We have green vouchers.
Yeah.
I just made new ones because we ran out, but we have them today. Sunday we're open noon to 5. Stop by. Invincible and Daredevil. I finished Invincible, the new season, last night. It was incredible. Not Invincible. It was incredible. They should call it Incredible, honestly. It was like Dragon Ball Z. That's how good it was. You know, it really reminds me of Dragon Ball Z. They're fighting a lot in the air, like in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
You know, they're in the air fighting, and it's, oh my God, it was incredible. Oh my God, it was so good, Zig. You got to catch up to Invincible. And then Daredevil, of course, Born Again started. Mm-hmm. I'm rewatching the old stuff on your Disney Plus here while I'm working, because I don't have Disney Plus right now, but I'm about to get it. But speaking of John, really quickly before we end, so John, who used to work for us, and then went to school of visual arts and got a film degree, is doing, you know, he's director of photography or filming or doing stuff in the video music business or film business. And when we were hanging out last night, I was asking him, so what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I'm the director of photography, DP, you know, for this this group of music videos. And we were like, oh, what band? He goes, this like obscure indie band called U.S. Girls.
Which I agree is an obscure indie band because I've never heard of them.
And I've seen them at least 5 times. It's one of my favorite bands. The lead singer, Megan Remy, I was in love with her. Their album Poem Unlimited is one of my favorite albums of all time. And like he said it like under his breath, like no one's gonna know what this band is. And I have a shirt signed by Megan Remy. You know, I'm a huge fan. So I just thought that was really a little bit of Stephen Dippity.
Stephen Dippity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw U.S. Girls at the Racket. At Dance in New York City. I've seen them in Brooklyn a couple times. I saw them at Baby's All Right. I saw them at couple other places.
You saw them at Babies R Us?
But and usually Val and I went together to see U.S. Girls because that's definitely her vibe too, and it was just kind of cool. And I'm gonna try to get on this music set. I'm gonna try to get on the set of this video. So John's doing great, and we did talk about Sharky a little bit. And when John's ready to do a movie, we're doing Sharky. And he's going to direct Sharky, and he's going to be the next Steven Spielberg because he's going to do a great shark movie like Steven Spielberg did.
Yeah.
And then before you know it,
John
John
will be direct it, or is he going to DP it?
He's going to direct it, and then after that, John will probably be at the Tiger Mart in Montville doing movies, just like Steven Spielberg is. You know.
Or at the Tiger Mart working.
Or working at Tiger Mart. That might be me. I might be working at Tiger Mart. So anyway...
Oh, Steve, are you in this movie? No, I just work here.
I work at Tiger Mart. I did pump gas there. I actually pumped gas there growing up.
Did you? Really?
Yeah, that was the gas station I worked at. For a while. I always forget I had that job. Yeah, I pumped gas. Which I love. That's one thing I love about New Jersey is that people pump our gas for us. I do not understand this, I like to pump my own gas. First of all...
Well, it's faster. Faster.
Maybe it's faster, but first of all, who wants to get out of their car? Not me.
Sometimes it's not, it depends. What time of year is it?
Well, I don't ever want to get out of the car at the gas station. I don't. First of all, I don't want to touch that nozzle that everyone touched all day.
Well, you don't.
Secondly, I have stuff to do in the car. I'm listening to something. I have my phone. You know, I can make a phone call. I could organize my console, whatever. And not only that, not for me, but gas stations are inherently dangerous. A lot of crime, not necessarily it's committed at the Tiger Mart here, mostly like on these highway gas stations and stuff like that. You got to be really careful. And anyone in my life that has to get gasoline that I worry about, I don't want them getting out of their car at a gas station. I don't. I want them to stay in the car and just have someone else pump their gas.
But then how am I going to do crime on them?
There's a lot of it. I mean, I've seen one on Instagram. Now I get every single crime on Instagram. But yeah, I do not understand. Like, we're the greatest state because we have gas station attendants. That's one of the reasons. And not only that, it employs a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Right? Just think if every gas station had to get an attendant, how many more people would be employed? And that's the type of job that anyone can do. You don't, well, someone struggling can go get a job pumping gas.
Yeah. I couldn't because I'd end up getting into a gasoline fight like in Zoolander.
I never saw Zoolander.
Oh, why were you too busy watching the Poseidon Adventure?
Yes.
Yeah, there's an excellent scene where all the male models get into a gasoline fight at the gas station, and then one of them lights a cigarette and they blow up.
Male models? Maybe I will watch Zoolander. They all blow up? Is that the end of the movie?
No, and then there's a funeral. It's a really funny scene.
Yes. You always talk about Zoolander.
I love Zoolander.
Yeah, you talk about Zoolander almost as much as I talk about Poseidon Adventure.
I made a Zoolander reference last night, and only Anna got it.
Really?
Yes.
What was it?
You took something out of your closet.
Yeah.
And said, and you were looking at. Oh, when you were taking all the gifts out.
Yeah, yeah.
And you didn't know what everything was.
Yeah.
And you had one. You were like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And that's a line from Zoolander, and the answer in the movie is a center for ants. I won't get into the whole context.
Yes.
But because of the line in the movie, anytime I hear anybody say the words, "What is this?" I always respond with a center for ants. And some people get that, and some people
get
don't.
it, and some people don't.
Last night, only Anna.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I said a center for ants, and she was just like...
She has seen a lot of movies. I'm really surprised John didn't get it. John's seen every movie.
He may not have been paying attention, but...
He's in film, and he's really... I remember when I first met John when he used to shop here, he was a little kid, and he knew everything about every Universal Monsters movie, he was a real cinephile.
I'll tell you what's terrible, Zoolander 2.
Oh, is it bad?
Unwatchable. Unwatchable.
I didn't know there was a 2.
There's a 2. Unwatchable.
Well, I
You
think
probably love it.
I think according to the Simpsons clock, we're right on. What does it say? 11?
Oh, no, we're 2 minutes late.
We are?
Yeah.
That clock was never changed. That clock's on the old time.
That clock does not participate in daylight savings time.
It's a Homer clock. All right, well, listen. Thank you for turning your Sunday into Zunday.
Gabingi. We're still live because I don't know where the button is. Oh, there it is.